Okay. God, these people are loud. I don't know if that's really clear. Okay, let's check out analytics. So, yeah, I guess let's just make sure that audio works. Yeah, I guess let's just make sure that audio. Nice. And actually, the latency is great. It seems like. So, as I was eating, I was also watching some videos on CRDTs and just like general stuff on it. Man, I'm not even sure that CRDTs. Yeah, I don't know if implementing a CRDT is a solution that I need. Because there's always pros and cons, right? Like it's always it depends on what you're doing. So and so I guess there are like some underlying principles, or not. I don't know if principles is the word, to be honest, but like there's some things, like some assumptions. Sorry. There are some assumptions about this thing, and I feel like I need to just nail down the local interactivity here. So I need a diagram maker. Is there like a diagram thing here? Let's try this shit. How does this work? Oh, it's pretty shitty. Let's look for a diagram making. Yeah. What is this? This could work. Honestly, I think I'll just open up. I just want to see like if there's anything that looks kind of cool. No, not this one. I actually remember that one. Yeah, I'm just gonna use tlddraw.com, I think. And I'll just create a few diagrams here. So, man, this is fast. Actually, this might be a good chance to. Oh shit, am I full on USB ports? Oh no. I'll have to remove one. So there's microphone, there's camera, there's keyboard and mouse. Yeah, that's 4. And I think I only have 4. Ah, shit. Wow. Well, I guess the camera is gonna go. Well, I hope that it doesn't crash actually. So let's unplug it. Oh, I forgot to drink down the glass water. So, okay. Oops, that's probably super loud. Okay. Actually, I don't know what are the drivers for Wacom pads on Linux or on Ubuntu. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be fine. Alright. Well, this thing is dusty. Okay, nice. Oh wow, this is a little buggy. Oh, it's like an absolute position, not relatively. Oh fuck. Okay, I'll see how that goes. Nice. So this is a fuck, what did I do? I think there's like a shortcut. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, this is we're doing that. Okay, well let's just try it out and see what happens. Holy fuck, this is annoying. I don't know if I like this absolute precision one. Well, let's see if going full screen helps a little. Okay, so let's open up my files here. No, what I need is okay, so we have the Arena backend, right? And so there's like storage. So those are my storage options, right? We have Arena, we have local file, and we could do like some type of like checkers, right? So storage, and then in reality Arena is cloud, right? So I'm gonna move this. So we have local file and cloud file, and then Arena is essentially a cloud file. That's just whatever, like maybe it's not a file. So yeah, because so the thing is, like, I'm just gonna do like a brain dump here with all of my thoughts and things, because there are databases, there are files, and then for each each has a permutation of like a cloud DB or a local DB, and then you have the same for files, So I think, when it comes to the interface, the other button doesn't work. So when it comes to the interface, I think yeah. So the way that I see it is that there are gonna be like essentially two modes, right? So like file mode or DB mode. And DV mode is gonna go to CRDT solution, and that's gonna be, you know, for a specific solution. And then the file one is going to be, it's gonna be different, right? It's gonna be more like Git, because Git is really for files, and CRDTs is more like for databases. Like based on what I understand, like very broadly, you know, like that's my understanding on, at least on my use case, right? And my data model actually, you know, matches both very easily. And there are pros and cons of each, right? A file, you can stream a file, and you can of course like open up a streaming, like you can there are probably like reading approaches. So let's see. I'm still unsure about CRDTs. So let's skip that for now. Let's explore how we could store a binary file containing the cards with chunk data so that it can be quickly read based on the viewport. Does that work? Or yeah, let's just see what it says. Chunks are defined for special location and contain list. Binary file structure. Ah, okay, gotcha. It's about lengths. So the reason why I'm looking into all of this very low level details and just performance and shit, it's essentially because it's essentially because I want to have a data model and just like a way to think, a mental model really, not a data model, but like a mental model of how this is gonna work. Because my end goal is to make this very low level, right? My end goal is to have like this more universal way of representing canvases and you know and things in it. And a canvas could be gigantic, you know, like it could be huge. Like, you know, because some people might want to just have like a vast canvas, and I feel like that's cool, right? And that's like the cool thing about spatial canvases like this. But it's also important to know how to load that, you know. It's also important to know that. So that's why I'm looking into streaming that. And because I like that, you know, I'm very much into local first stuff. I like having files. That's why I like Obsidian, for example. You know, because then I can just then I can use a repo. And you know, and so that's easy. So that's the thing, is like, what's the approach? Like, when you create a canvas, is that a file or what is it, right? And because I essentially, now I'm gonna use the pencil. That is very different. Yeah, that's a better no. Yeah, it's more like a... Sorry, got very distracted right there. Is that the character? Anyways, by the way, the support here is great. It's actually better than on my Mac, to be honest. Like, it feels way smoother here, which is pretty interesting. I might actually just use Linux now from now on. I'm just kidding. That's not gonna be a great idea, but because like, okay, so let's just say this is what I actually want to do. You know, we have the OS level, we have the are.na level, and that's it, right? And here you'll probably want it to be file oriented. I mean, you'll definitely want it to be file oriented, because then you'll be able to decide, like, okay, you know, like, I want to use Google Drive or whatever, or Dropbox, and to back up my files, or, you know, I want like some things are gonna be stored on Git. And so if everything is a file and it exists in a place where, you know, like, it's easier to keep track of things and be like, oh yeah, I have this file here in this place. But for example, you know, in are.na it's different, right? Like, it's are.na is more akin to a database, really. and there are limits, right? Like there are like size limits, and there's like a lot of things. And really, you know, and this is actually where the garden is, right? So then we have SUNA.GARDEN, which is more like something specific for Arena. Actually, this is it's actually not so much like this, but yeah, this is more. Let's call it SUNA OS for now. And I'm personally just way more interested in this one. But I want to start with this one because I want to, you know, I want to share it quickly. I want to share it soon. Oh, that's a terrible bow. And there are gonna be limits. Like, you know, like the string list of cards, you know. Actually, I think, what if I do this backwards? If I put my drawing pad, oh fuck, I almost broke something. So what if instead I, whoa. Man, how many fucking cables? So what if instead I put the keyword here. There's a keyword here on top. And actually the mouse will leave it below. And I'll put the drawing pad below as well. Oh well, this is actually not as ergonomic as I thought. Yeah, no. Unless I move it to the right, I guess. Oh yeah. So yeah, and SUNA.GARDEN is really more an interface, right? Like this is an interface for Arena. And the reason is, you know, that there's an audience, right? Like I get immediate access to an audience of people that like to try things like this. It's a, you know, it's a cool value proposition, if that's the term, for users, because you can then organize the already existing data there in, you know, new ways. And so, yeah, you know, it's I mean, that's what it is. It's an interface, right? And SUNA.GARDEN actually will, like I would eventually like to have a desktop app. Oh, desktop app. But then this kind of goes here. It's not quite the thing though, because yeah, there are limits. So audience, and I also wanted, you know, to explore UI. ideas. And so what I'm doing right now is, like what I'm realizing is that, it's more oriented towards that. And yeah. And so CRDTs, they are for collaboration. But like real time. And I could use something like, what is it called? Tangle. Is it Tangle or Tangled? I'm just gonna click on whatever, and then I'm just gonna go into my I don't know if there's personal data here. I've never shared my screen. Independent researcher and digital crafter. What is this thing? Hypercore. Oh, I think I also should point to something very important here. Tangle. So this here is very cool, But as this guy says, it's like, yeah. But that's not the point. The point is, oh, what? Okay, there you go. RTC connections. Small games and apps that want to have multiplayer in the future, it may be useful for all sorts of things, including but not limited to synchronous. Yeah, exactly. So one thing is multiplayer, and then the other one is a synchronous modification of things, right? And having like that source of truth. And those are different solutions. Like those are different things. And like CRDT is for collaboration, right? So there's async collaborations. There's real time multiplayer and then there's just I'm just gonna say git a version control. Right? And you know, there are different things. There are different solutions. And I'm actually gonna remove those lines for one reason. So here we have, you know, CRDTs basically exist based on my understanding. CRDTs, kind of like they take these two spaces and then, you know, like a centralized server client approach. So, you know, it's like, what do I want? You know, I thought that this was going to be like an easy plug and play kind of thing, where, and it is kind of, you know. The truth is that it is. So I might actually just, you know, like the goal of this time that I'm spending here doing the stream and like just exploring ideas and like figuring out details is I'm trying to figure out like how am I gonna approach the project right now, the code, you know, the C indexing. So, you know, like, so what are the next steps? Because it's clear that for, you know, the OS, there's not a single decision, you know. I don't think that it should be all CRDTs, and I don't think it should all be server client. I don't have an answer, obviously. You know, for operating system and like more serious stuff, I do like this option better, and like this because this essentially includes like you know, manual. It requires you to manually handle manually. Is that with a single L or with two L's? I think it's with two L's. I don't know. Manually handle conflicts. And for some cases, you know, like with code, that's how you want to handle things, right? Like I wouldn't feel, I would not do that. You know, I would not do I would not use CRDTs for code. You know, and this one is more like an automatic. I'm gonna move this. And so this is more like automatic. Automatic conflict resolution, or whatever. Automatic, let's just keep it consistent. Automatically handle automatically handle conflicts. And so for some things you want to have this, and for some other things you'll do this. So I think, you know, as for my mental model, what I want, I'm gonna have, you know, like a space should I don't even know how to say it really. It's like you have let's just say canvas. A canvas needs to know if it's, how do we like centralize or decentralize? If it's sync or async. And then that's going to, you know, and that's just gonna decide I think my right click doesn't work. Yeah. And I'm tired. I haven't been sleeping very well. And so, you know, it's interesting because then Tangle is kind of like, it's not here and it's not here. So that's funny because it's like, where the fuck does this live, right? Tangle. And for some reason, at the same time, Tangle seems more straightforward to understand for me. It's just like synchronizing instructions by taking snapshots or something like that. But yeah, that's more like for small apps and things. And so I would only use that for like presence, to handle presence, and I would also use it for like, the thing is that you can actually, now it's clear. Tangle kind of like lives here. Here. Tangle lives here. Yeah. Because it's real-time multiplayer, and the way that it's handled is not by syncing with the server, but really with syncing instructions. And that's interesting, you know, because that's more like you essentially have a playground of interactions that then you can, you know, like those interactions are gonna communicate with the server and it's gonna do some shit. So I don't know, it's just interesting as an option. It's gonna be some, it's more like for local state rather than data or something, I guess. But oh man, so where's Arena? You know, so now it's like, so where is SUNA.GARDEN? That's the question. I think that using CRDTs is going to be complicated. I don't really... And I think it's going to be complicated when it comes to synchronizing. So let's do a quick overview here. Right. So we have you know, we have a block. And you know, we have some title and some other shit, and then we have our, you know, our data there. We have our cool garden image. And so this is, you know, this is on a server, and that's it. And so then, you know, locally, you're gonna have write access to that. And so there's gonna be transactions, right? And those transactions is gonna be kind of like saving to a file. So you have like like save changes and unsaved changes. And so what that means is that, so I might actually use CRTs just because, you know, like that's gonna synchronize locally. So if I have multiple clients open, like multiple windows, you know, I'm not gonna have conflicts and shit. Which is pretty much the architecture of, you know, Windows and tabs. I could also use like some session storage thing, but yeah, I think it's just gonna be easier to do it this way. So, well, I guess, I'm not sure. Transactions, and I'll have to know, you know, like there's going to be a timestamp for, you know, Arena. And there's going to be a timestamp for each client. Actually, for each session, right? Oh yeah, well, we can say client. And then, you know, we're just gonna have as many. And so, you know, we have clients here. And so, you know, there's gonna be conflicts for sure. So how do you handle those conflicts? Like, can I just plug and play the CRT from AutoMerge? Probably yes. Yeah, that's probably gonna be the solution for that. Now the thing is, so now the thing is like, okay, how do I do, like chunking is probably not going to be an option, so okay. Constraints. So no chunks. That's gonna limit the size. So like so it's gonna be slow if you create too many cards. So that's a constraint. What about C indexing? Because there are no chunks. That means that C indexing is going to be done for a single chunk. That's a better way of seeing it, actually. And so now the question is, how would I handle, you know, each chunk? C indexing. Now C indexing. Now I can actually get to the point of this whole video. Let's just look at all of the things. So now C indexing matters only when there's overlaps. So I guess the question here is more like, how do we handle overlaps? Overlaps meaning, you know, you have a card here and then you have another one here. Because that's really when you require the C index, right? Like I want a dynamic C index instead of a static one, if that makes sense. Where the C index is always relative. So relative. So how do we do that? Do we have a large chunk and do it the way that I have been doing it, and I just find a way to synchronize it properly? Because then in that case, and what I can do is so the other option is to remove and I think this would be way easier. And then have C layers instead. For VG tiles. And so the cool thing is that this is going to be, so the SUNA.GARDEN is really just a small project. It's actually just a small project. I just want to do an arena. Just want to put an arena on a canvas. That's essentially what I want to do. Yeah, I like this approach way better. Because it just simplifies the whole thing. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. So in other words, and this is now the big conclusion, C prop is now layer and not index. This right here is the big conclusion of it all. And that's just how I want to handle things. Okay. And so I think I'm gonna use auto merge to not have to worry about those conflicts, I think. So yeah, so that's the conclusion for that. Single chunk. I'm gonna use a different color. And then we are going to use URDT. So here we're gonna say CRDT plus server check, or rather CRDT for client sync and I don't even know, like just So CRDT for client sync and simple overriding polish. Wait, does that really require CRDT? Because if it's in the same browser, then it doesn't fucking matter. So I wouldn't say that this is it. I would actually say that I think it's gonna be more like local gardens. And it's a simple is it indexed or index? Indexed. And then you can have as many copies. Like files. I might start doing it like that. Copies like files. Push to override. And then a diff checker. I think that makes more sense. It doesn't require me to do CRDT stuff. Oh, now it's laggy. Is it the mouse or is it the web? What is this thing? Oh. What is this thing? What is this thing? Oh. What is this thing? Oh, it's a sticky note. Yeah. So those are the conclusion of this thing. Single chunk. Handle it as if it was a single chunk. And do cprop is now a layer instead of an index, so that means that order is king. And then local gardens, well, I'm gonna manually create an IndexedDB database where I'll have different copies and I'll have a way to manage those copies. And so that's it. And you'll just have different versions on every fucking client. And then it's up to you to synchronize them for Arena, which is okay. I mean, it means that it's not gonna scale a lot, and that's okay because SUNA.GARDEN is a prototype. It's a proof of concept, really. It's just the first step forward, and then I'll explore the other complications of this model here, and then, like, you know, handling like how do you have multiple of those? You know, collaborative or centralized, you know, decentralized or centralized. An interesting idea would be, you know, like, now that I'm here, you know, now that I'm here, it's like this side of the things is like, this is like only, it's like your home. No, this is more like, there's a single door key, and then with this one there are multiple door keys. Dude, that's the fucking, I think I nailed it there. Oh, that's a very ugly key. How do I make it a nicer key? Looks like a dick. Yeah, that's a pretty fucking ugly key. Want a better key, you know, I don't want it to look like a dick. There you go. There you go. Let's move it a little bit more. Yes. Nice. Well. Nice. Yeah, I feel I have way more clarity now. And also the keyword garden is going to be unique to SUNA.GARDEN and specifically to Arena. And so even like my whole folder structure here that I have, which is like components, and then HUD, and then like all of these other things. I like user, to be honest. So this here. I don't know if this should be here. Why is it loading? What the fuck is loading? I have a mess here, without question. Okay. Well. Yeah. That's right. Oh yeah. Description, name. What? Is that really what it is? No. Huh. Oh, right. So next I am going to do a single chunk, and I'm going to refactor the canvas object so that it uses this approach instead now. And I think this is actually going to scale with my with these notes here about chunks, and I'm actually gonna copy this. Paste that there. Yeah. Oh, I already have one. Let's just do it again. Let's call this Tor browser. Oh wow. That's interesting. But it picked it up. That's very fascinating. still gonna copy this. Oh, I accidentally used some syntax. Nice. Okay, well, I'm gonna stop it here. I'm pretty tired. I think it was good.